It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wise discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
Good morning, Mississippi, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm senior meteorologist Wesley Williams. Out the door this morning, grab a raincoat. Some of us are already seeing some wet weather, but this is what we have to get through in order to fight off some of the heat. We're even hearing the thunder rumbling right now at our Biloxi studios, and that's because of a thunderstorm that is sitting on top of Ocean Springs and parts of Jackson County. This is a live MDOT camera in Jackson County. This is Highway 57 to the north of I-10. We can see the rain coming down from that angle. The road is wet and folks are driving on that wet road this morning. I'm seeing everyone remembering to use their headlights for the most part. Check on the truck, check on the SUV, and did we forget to turn the headlights on? Don't forget, wipers on, lights on. It's the law, as they say. Anyway, we could take a look at a different angle. That was facing off toward the north. This is facing on I-10 toward the west. And looks like pretty good look there from the MDOT cam, showing that the road is wet. The rain is not falling terribly heavily, so you can still see the visibility is fine. And one last view of that spot. Let's face off toward the east. Looks like the rain is a bit easier to see here, and that's because the rain is coming in from the east, and so you can see some raindrops on the camera lens there. And the road certainly looks to be rain slaked, so hopefully everyone is using caution. We also have a time lapse that has been rolling in Biloxi. This is from the Beau Rivage. Let's restart this at the beginning, 7:48, and we'll hit the play button. So this is facing toward the east, toward Ocean Springs, and you're looking at the rain in the distance. It gets a bit closer to the camera. It's actually looking like it's making a run for the Biloxi Ocean Springs Bridge with just the last few frames there on the right side of the screen. Look how close that rain comes to the foreground. So it's raining very close. If I pause this and point with my arrow, raining very closely here in the foreground. This rain used to be in the distance, but it's very close to the bridge. So we can take a look at the First Alert radar, and we find that thunderstorm over portions of Jackson County and portions of eastern Harrison County in this area. If I've circled you and your street and your town and your community, that means you got a thunderstorm nearby, and you should be prepared at any moment for rain to begin. Looks like we did not circle Moss Point Pascagoula, so maybe y'all are good. Looks like we did not circle Gulfport, so maybe you are briefly good temporarily for now. But all those other spots inside of the circle, including Van Cleve, Ocean Springs, D'Iberville, St. Martin, Biloxi, Gulf Park Estates, and yeah, those would be places where you're seeing that thunderstorm this morning. We can zoom in a bit closer, getting down to street level, and you got places like East Beach Boulevard. A lovely place to enjoy some beach time right there. Can't tell you how many hours I've spent sitting on the beach there. A really good one during sunset because it faces toward the west, so you can look toward the west and watch the setting sun on the shores of Mississippi. But right now, if you're trying to watch anything, you're getting raindrops in your eyeballs because we are finding that rain occurring this morning right there into much of Ocean Springs. This is so isolated that if you call your neighbor up in St. Martin and tell them, hey, St. Martin Gulf Hills, hey neighbor, it's raining in Ocean Springs, they'd say, quit lying. There's not a drop of rain in parts of St. Martin Gulf Hills right now, even though there is a considerable amount of steady showers with a few downpours over the majority of downtown Ocean Springs. we'll see. Maybe this spreads up into St. Martin. It already looks like it's expanding into the eastern portion of Back Bay. So with that initial expansion, I wouldn't be surprised to see other areas down the line near St. Martin, D'Iberville, other areas down the line near portions of Biloxi near Keesler. Right now, most of this is to the east of I-110 in Biloxi, but we'll see. Maybe it gets to the west of I-110, getting closer to Keesler and other zones within the next 60 minutes. We'll zoom out, help you get your bearings. We've talked so much about Jackson County and eastern Harrison County. What about everyone else? Well, there's not much rain elsewhere, so there's not much else to talk about right now weather-wise. As far as rain's concerned, I do want to do a quick lightning counter on this activity. Let's pause the radar, break out the lightning counter. We have just under 40 strikes in the last 15 minutes. So that's easily more than a strike per minute, I think. Then again, I'm never that good at doing math on the spot, but 15 strikes in 15 minutes would be a strike per minute. So yeah, if we're over 15, that means we got more than a strike per minute. So that's actually come up to 40. So it looks like the intensity with this thunderstorm is kind of increasing. So keep an eye on it. I know if you're underneath it, you're getting quite a good amount of rain. Looks like the National Weather Service might have gone with a weather advisory for someone. Let's pop that one up too and see what that information shows. This was just at 8:11 this morning and valid until 9 o'clock. So no, not for us on the Mississippi coast. Looks like that one just outside of our viewing area. It does include George County though, but not for the thunderstorm over Biloxi Ocean Springs, but instead a separate storm. That one actually has fallen apart, so good news for that one there. It is probably weakening below strong limits, but I think we're probably going to see a statement get put out on this one here. The lightning frequency is increasing, and we're also seeing the potential for some isolated downpours. There's undoubtedly going to be street flooding in Ocean Springs this morning because of that one isolated downpour there. And we can do a quick estimate over the last hour just to take a look and see how much rain has fallen. In eastern George County, we got about a ½ inch to an inch of rain. And in Jackson County, looks like we have mainly a ½ inch of rain, although if we get right down to this downpour that just began, it just shortly began within the last hour, so there's not going to be a whole lot of accumulation to track. But it does look like in portions of Ocean Springs we are approaching a ½ inch of rain. And like I said, this one just kind of popped up there, so it has not been raining there for more than an hour. We can rewind the radar back an hour. So it looks like it's coming up on an hour in that one area. Man, this traffic cam that's nearby, we got a traffic cam located right here. Let me circle it or mark it on the map for you. Right here. I-10 and 57. Look at all of the lightning bolts that are in that location. I mean, this lightning is popping, and the reason I mention this is because in my peripheral view, I've got this MDOT cam, which I just saw a flash of lightning. Now I'm showing you the camera I saw the flash of lightning on. This is I-10 and 57 in Jackson County. You know, you sit here, you watch a pot of water boiling, it never boils. You watch a MDOT cam trying to find lightning, it never strikes. But I assure you, there was lightning there. The radar confirms that there indeed has been lightning in that area. And now, looks like the cam might have gotten frozen there. I don't know if we can catch a different view. Facing north, facing west. Maybe lightning struck the camera and now the feeds are down. It's temporarily unavailable. What about this one? No, I think we might have actually, maybe we did get a lightning strike in that area. It seems like a lot of the Jackson County feeds have gone down. How unfortunate. Well, at least we still have the first alert radar showing you a lot of rain showers and thunderstorms in southern Jackson County. So we're going to talk about the forecast now. We talked a whole lot about what's happening right now, which if you're watching this on replay, I'm sure the information has already become outdated. But if we take a look at the forecast, that's kind of more forward looking, and this could still be useful to you. So let's take a look. Today, the morning hours, we are starting off with some hit or miss thunderstorms. So that chance for rain this morning about 30%, and that seems to check out. I know Ocean Springs, you're like 30%, this is 100. But I assure you, while you can name fewer than 5 cities that are seeing rain right now, I can name more than 5 cities, more than 10 cities that are seeing no rain right now. And so that's what that rain chance percentage is all about, is the percentage of South Mississippi or a zone in South Mississippi that's seeing rain. And I mean, if you look at it by county, Jackson County, a third of the Mississippi coast, they're seeing rain, 30%. Whereas the other 2/3, Hancock, Harrison counties, not really getting as much rain. So yeah, that 30% seems to check out for now. This will increase as we go to the next few hours. So eventually we're going to come up to 40 on the coast and eventually come up to 50 on the coast. We'll see if we can get some more showers and storms to form. Right now, it looks like the majority of the showers and storms that develop might actually take place just to the north of Interstate 10 in our inland zones. So that's why you see a little bit higher chance for rain for Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening in some of those inland areas. As you might be able to tell, temperatures are not going to be as hot as yesterday. You may think that is mainly because of the rain, but there's actually a couple of other moving pieces to our forecast that lead to that happening. I'm actually curious right now to see if we have noticed a 24-hour drop in temperatures because we have much more cloud cover and rain nearby. Yeah, indeed we have. So the numbers this morning have come down by 5 to 10 degrees compared to yesterday morning. So if we take a look at the reported temperatures in South Mississippi, we're looking at lower 80s, upper 70s. Whereas 24 hours ago, with all that sun, remember the sun on Tuesday morning and it was pretty steamy. We had temperatures yesterday at this time in the middle to upper 80s. Also, just out of curiosity, want to take a look at the heat index, or feels like temperature over the last 24 hours. Okay, so this is going to stop right about there. And this is from Moss Point, Pascagoula. Notice yesterday at 7 in the morning, heat index of 87. Today 87, but yesterday 83. So that's a little bit of a change there for them. I find that interesting that it was not as hot yesterday. I want to change this to Biloxi, and I wonder if we're going to see a similar thing unfold there. Biloxi. All right. So it's not. And this is what I was trying to point out, is that, yeah, because we've got rain near Biloxi right now, it doesn't feel as hot as it felt 24 hours ago there. And maybe that trend continues, where some of these rain clouds kind of help us out a little bit. The high temperature forecast for today is 93, maybe 94 in some spots, but overall not what we had yesterday. Y'all remember yesterday? It was, again, the hottest day of 2025. We had a couple of days in a row with upper 90s on Tuesday and on Monday. Today we are not forecasting upper 90s, so since it's not going to be a repeat, that is going to be a plus. That being said, there could still be some places that approach the dangerous heat index of greater than 108 degrees. But one of the reasons why we are seeing a little bit of a change is because the hot high pressure that was sitting directly on top of us on Monday moved a little bit more away from us yesterday and is continuing to move a little bit more away from us to the west today on Wednesday. And to the east of that high pressure, we actually have a good amount of atmospheric moisture. You can see that on the water vapor channel. There's high pressure that's located over here, over Texas. There's also a much weaker high that's located over here near Florida. And in between those two highs, we kind of have this weakness, the low pressure area there, and that is, well, it's more like an upper disturbance, and it's helping us to see some better rain chances with that moisture in between the two highs. So that's why the rain forecast shows that zone east of Texas, mainly to the west of Florida, where we're seeing kind of the most concentrated rain on the rain forecast map. This does include the southern half of Mississippi, and you can see in our 6 southernmost counties we do have the potential for everyone to at least get some light rain, and then in a few isolated spots some places could pick up some heavier downpours. Right now it looks like the majority of the heavier downpours could be just to the north of I-10, so that's why our inland area has a 60% chance today. Once you go south of I-10, you don't really see that purple color showing up as much, right? So the majority of that purple color is generally to the north of I-10. So maybe some of the heaviest rain today, we'll see, could be north. But right now we're seeing the downpour south of I-10 Ocean Springs. So we'll see if the forecast holds true. Finally, wrapping it up, you got to wonder, are we going to see a return to those upper 90s? And right now, the answer, as we head into early August, looks like no. So that's good news. If you are dreading a return to those upper 90s, I've got good news for you. We are not forecasting upper 90s heading from late July into early August. Perhaps yesterday and the day before were the last few that we'll see in a while. Look, you can never completely get rid of this stuff. Inevitably, we will probably wind up back with that type of heat at some point next month, but at least the next 7 days show some relief from the upper 90s, some relief from that extreme heat, and kind of more typical summer temperatures. Next 3 days, we'll still have a decent amount of heat, low to mid 90s, but then once we get to the weekend, you're looking at only around 90, which will be even better for any of your plans on Saturday and Sunday. Well, that'll pretty much do it for today's edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. I hope that you have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll catch you again next time.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.